So we are able to display the snack bar component, and we are able to display it when the button is clicked. Now we have to talk about how to close the snack bar. If you go to the UI wireframe, one of the ways in which we want to close the snack bar is by placing this icon over here, and clicking on this icon should close the snack bar. So let's add code for that now. Let's go to the example code and look at the action prop. For the action prop, we need to specify some JSX, and what we want is we want an icon button which has a close icon within it to be rendered in that action area. So let's take a look at the code related to icon and also the code related to close icon over here. If you scroll up, we can see that icon button is part of @material-ui/core, so we can import it from here. But the close icon is part of @material-ui/icons, which is a different package. If you remember, we installed two npm packages. We installed @material-ui/core, and we also installed @material-ui/icons. And this is the reason we installed the icons package as well. So first let us import both of them. So at the top of the file, I'm going to type icon button. And so now I have added it to the list of components that we are importing from @material-ui/core. Let's import the close icon now. So I'm going to type import close from @material-ui/icons. So we have imported the close icon now. But if you observe, icon's name is actually close. And the convention is to use an alias which includes the icon suffix at the end. So we'll import this close component as close icon. So this is a convention that you will see in most of the examples that are presented on Material UI's website. So now we can use icon button and close icon. So I'm going to add the action prop now, and the action prop's value needs to be some JSX, and it's an expression that needs to be evaluated. So we'll specify the curly braces, and we'll add an empty tag over here to signify the React fragment and close it as well. And if you go to the example code, what we have to do is we have to add an icon button as the content, and we need to place the close icon as the child component of icon button. So let's do that. So I'm going to type icon button, and I'm going to close the tag, and I'm going to add close icon as its child component, and I'll close the tag. Now let us take a look at the output. Let's reload the page, and I'm going to click on this default button over here, and the snack bar has appeared. And if you look closely, we can see the close icon. It looks like we have an issue with its color. Let's look at the example code and see which color the example code has used. So the color that has been used is inherit. So let's use that as well. So I'm going to code over here, and for the icon button, I'm going to specify the color as inherit. Let's save the file and let's go back to the web page. And as you can see, now we can clearly see the close icon. We haven't written any code for this button yet, so clicking on it does nothing. So now let us add code to make this button work. That means we want to close this snack bar when this button is clicked. So let's add code for that. So for this icon button over here, let's write on click equals, and let's specify the event handler name as handle close SB. And now we have to add code for this event handler. And within this event handler, what we want to do is we want to close the snack bar. In order to close the snack bar, we'll have to set this value openSB to false. And in order to modify openSB, we'll have to call this method setOpenSB. So let's write code for handle close SB now. So I'm going to type const handle close SB equals, let's make it an arrow function, and it's going to have only one statement, so we can skip the curly braces. Let's call setOpenSB, and let's pass the value of false. So what will happen is if this button is clicked, this event handler will be invoked. So this code will be executed, and in the body of the event handler, we are setting the value of the state variable to false. So the value that is assigned to this prop open over here will change to false, and so the snack bar will be closed. Let's save the file and let's go to the web page and verify if this is working as expected. I have reloaded the page, and I'm going to click on this button over here, and we can see that the snack bar has opened. We have the component section open over here, and we can see that there is a state variable that is being used over here, and its value is true right now. Keep an eye on the Boolean value that is being shown over here. I'm going to click on this icon now. So I have clicked now, and as you can see, the snack bar has disappeared, and the state variable's value over here has changed to false. If we click on this default button again, we can see that the snack bar has opened again, and you can see that the value of the state variable has changed to true. I'll click on this close icon, and you can see that the snack bar has disappeared, and you can also see that the state variable's value has changed to false. So this is an example of where the useStateReact hook becomes useful when working with Material UI components. And the last piece of functionality that we have to implement is, even if this icon is not clicked, the snack bar should close by itself after 5 seconds. And if we go to the example code, we can see that we can use this prop, which is called auto hide duration. And we have to specify the value in milliseconds. So let's try this. So in our code over here, I'm going to type auto, and I'm going to select auto hide duration, and I'm going to specify the value as 5000 because the value needs to be specified in milliseconds. 5000 milliseconds is 5 seconds, so I have specified 5000, and let's see if it works. Let's go to the web page. Let's click on the default button, and let's wait for 5 seconds to see if the snack bar closes. And you will actually find that the snack bar will not close after 5 seconds. Now why is that? We seem to have used the correct prop for auto hiding, because that is what has been used in the example, auto hide duration, and we have used the same prop, but obviously this didn't work. So now at this point we have two options, and the first option is what most developers do. Let's copy this prop, let's go to google.com, and let's paste that prop over here, and let's type snack bar, and as you can see, one of the first results is auto hide duration snack bar not working. So let's select that, and the first search result takes us to stackoverflow.com. So let's go there and let's look at the answer. And the answer says that you also have to implement the onClose method of the snack bar component in order to make the timeout work. So what this solution is saying is that it is not enough just to specify the auto hide duration. We also have to specify a method for the onClose event, and we have to implement that method. As you can see here, the solution includes code for the onClose event. So let's do that. So let's write onClose equals, and we need to provide a method for closing the snack bar, which we already have over here. So we can specify this method over here. So let's do that. So I'm going to copy this method's name and I'm going to paste it over here. Now let us go back to the web page and see if this works. So I have reloaded the web page and I'm going to click on this default button over here, and you can see that the snack bar has come up. Let's see if it closes by itself, and you can see that the snack bar has closed by itself. Let's try that once again. I'm going to click on this default button over here. The snack bar has come up and it should close after 5 seconds, and you can see that it has closed now. So it looks like the auto hiding functionality is also working like we want. And going back to our discussion about this auto hide duration, we found the solution to our problem using google.com and stackoverflow.com, but we could have also gone to the official documentation and we could have looked at the documentation for auto hide duration. So let's quickly do that. So I'm in the snack bar API page and I'm going to search for auto hide duration, and it is right here. Let's look at the description for auto hide duration now. And the description says that the number of milliseconds to wait before automatically calling the onClose function. So what the description is saying is that auto hide duration is a number, and this number is the number of milliseconds to wait before calling the onClose function. So auto hide duration by itself will not close the snack bar. It needs the onClose function to be implemented in order for the snack bar to be closed. So instead of going to google.com or stackoverflow.com, we could have found our answer by coming to this documentation as well. And as you probably already know, most developers search on google.com or stackoverflow.com to see if they can find an answer quickly. And if they don't find an answer quickly over there, then they go to the official documentation like this page over here to see if they can find an answer in the documentation. And this is how most developers work on a daily basis. Before we conclude our example, I want to mention a quick point about how to test this snack bar. So I'm going to click on this default button over here, and you can see that the snack bar has come up. But if you notice, I am hovering my mouse over the snack bar, and although we have specified that the snack bar has to disappear within 5 seconds, since my mouse is hovering over the snack bar continues to stay visible even after 5 seconds. And if I move my mouse outside the snack bar, you can see that it will disappear after a couple of seconds. You can see that it has disappeared now. So while testing this snack bar component, keep in mind that if you hover your mouse over the snack bar, then the snack bar will remain visible until you move your mouse outside the snack bar. So please keep that in mind while testing the auto hiding of the snack bar. So we have finished implementing our example. So in this example, we have used a few components from the @material-ui/core package, and also we have used a component from the @material-ui/icons package, and we have seen how the useState React hook can be useful When working with Material UI components, we have discussed about how the grid works, how the grid container and grid items work. We have seen that a common prop that Material UI components have is the variant prop. For example, this typography component has the variant prop, and also these buttons have the variant prop. So we have seen that variant is one of the important props. And towards the end, we implemented this snack bar component, and we discussed how to go about learning about a component if we are encountering it for the first time. I showed you that the component section has description and examples, and the components API section has the actual documentation for those components. Between these two sections, we should be able to find the information that we need. And like always, we can go to google.com and stackoverflow.com and search over there as well. Although what we have implemented here is a fairly simple example, the other components in Material UI can be learned in a similar way to how we went about researching and implementing this example. And that concludes our discussion about Material UI components.